Alright, so the folks at AUTOONE asked if I would do an install video for their D1S Xenon light bulbs for the BMWs. Now this is a 2015 335i, so it takes the D1S's. My wife's 650i also takes these as well. And then my M6 back here, it takes a different bulb because it's a pre-LCI. So these cars take the D1S bulb, but it's all about the same for changing it. It's not too bad to do. There's a little compartment right inside of here that we got to open up to get to the bulb. But the one thing that's really important is that you can see you can't really get your hand in here. So you are going to have to lift the car up to get some access. You don't have to take the wheel off, but there's a little clip in here on these BMWs that's going to drive you crazy, make you wonder what in the world they were thinking on how to hook this bulb in. So in doing the install, what I'll do is actually get my little scope. So I got a bore scope or an endoscope, and I'm going to shine it up in and I'm going to show you exactly where that clip is, because that's the most complicated part of the whole thing, is to unclip this little clip that holds these bulbs in there. Once you see how to do it, it's super simple, but if you don't know how to do it, you're going to sit there all day and you're going to shake your head and you may end up breaking the bulb trying to get it out. So we'll get set up and we're going to do an install video for these on this car. They're supposed to send some more of the D2S for my M6 over here. I'll show that in a second. And then we'll do an install video for that for another video. So let's get set up here. Before we do the install, let's have a look-see in the box and see what comes in it. And then we're going to do a pre-drive with the current lights to see how they compare to these once I do the install. Alright, so just what's in the box for these AUTOONE HID Xenon bulbs here, and like I say, these are the D1S's. So if we open it up, we'll see what's in there, and I've already opened it up, so I know. But we'll get her set in here. But the first thing on top is a pair of cotton gloves. Now these are really important for these Xenon bulbs, because if you touch that glass on the Xenon with your finger, it deposits oil on there, and that bulb's going to go out really quick. So you got to wear gloves, and you can't touch the glass portion of it with your fingers. Now you can touch the metal back with your fingers, but you can't touch the glass part. So these little gloves are really important, and it's nice that they supplied you with a pair. That way you don't have to worry about getting these dirty. But right inside of there is the two bulbs, and I'm not going to take them out because I don't want to risk touching them. But you can see the D1S bulb has a metal back. It's like a square. Whereas the D2S that's on the M6, that one has a disconnectable module on the back, and the bulb is separate. So for sure the M6 doesn't use these bulbs. But these are used for all of the LCI models of the BMWs, right around 650i if it's an LCI. If it's a pre-LCI, it's going to use the D2S's, but this car uses them because it's a 2015. So what we need to do is wait till it gets dark, because I want to do a pre-video for what these Philips ones look like for brightness and compare to the AUTOONE Xenons right here. These are 35 watts, so they should be the same wattage. We're going to see just the clarity and make sure the cutoff's good and all that. So we'll get set up, we'll do our little run on the pre-video when it gets dark, and then we'll come back and do the video on how to install them, and then we'll do a video after just to show the difference. So we'll have to wait a little bit, then we'll get set up and we'll do our test run. Yeah, so by the way, here is my 2007 M6. Now, like I say, if you look up in the listings for almost every cross-reference, this one calls out the D1S bulb as well. But if you have an M6, just note that it's probably going to be the D2S bulb. So don't be fooled. You might want to take this compartment off that I show you on the 335i. Over here, I'll show you where the compartment is. You can look up in there and you'll see real quick whether or not it's a D1S or a D2S, because it'll have a little plastic module on the D2S. The D1S just has the square on the back of the bulb. Alright, so before we get these bulbs changed out to the AUTOONEs, we're going to do a little drive with the current Philips bulbs in there and just see how bright these are compared to the AUTOONE lights. So we'll just run down here real quick, and then we'll turn around and we'll head back and do the bulb change, and then we can compare. Alright, so we got our initial test ride done, so now we can compare once we install these AUTOONE lights. So changing them out is really not that difficult. What you got to do is lift it up. So I got the car on a lift, and that way I got a lot of room here with my hands. You don't have to take the wheels off or anything. But right underneath here, you just pull that little guard off, and then right here is where the light is. So you just have to turn that thing sideways like that, and then it comes off. So here's where the fun begins, because right inside of here is a little metal clip that holds the bulb in, and it also holds the connector on the bottom. But up top, you'll struggle and struggle trying to figure out which way that little clip goes. So let me get my endoscope in here, and I'll show you what that clip looks like up on top before we take it loose. I got my little endoscope right here, and what I'll do is put this video in the video, and so you can see. But right inside of there, if you look up on top of this light bulb, you'll see somewhere in the video, you'll see the clip. So right there is the clip that's holding it on there. And so if I'm looking at the clip right here, I gotta get my camera right. So right there is that clip up top, and you can see over on the driver's side of the clip is where it's open. And so right there, if I can hold it steady with my finger, right there on the clip, you see you have to push the metal clip to the driver's side. It's got two little clips right there. So the whole clip actually pushes, if you look, the whole clip pushes that way. And what you have to do is push on the two little bars and then push it back and then over. So not too bad to do once you can see what that clip looks like in there. So it works the same way for both of them. So this clip, the metal clip right here, you got to push on these two little parts of the clip, push that in, and then push both parts over, and it'll unlock. But first we got to take the connector loose right down here at the bottom. So let's get that took loose, then we can pop the clip off, and then the bulb comes out super simple. So right there. So first off, what we need to do is get the clip down. Now I'm just messing around with the back of the bulb, so I don't have to have the little gloves on yet. So you want to push this little metal thing up and then pull the connector down. Wiggle it down, you can get the connector out of the way. So we can leave it down there. So then now this little metal thing is sideways. So I need to straighten it back up when I put the bulb in. So now here's where the fun part comes. So right inside of there, I'm going to push on these two, push both of them sideways towards the driver's side, and it'll be exactly the same for the other bulb. We'll push those in and over, and out it comes. So you can see about that easy it'll come off, but if you don't know to push in and then over, you'll really struggle to get this bulb out. Alright, so all we got to do now is get our little clip out of the way, and it's come loose, so we just pull it down like that with our little metal clip. So now we can take the bulb out. So you just take your fingers and pull it straight out as best as possible. And there's the old bulb. So this bulb still looks pretty good. It's a Phillips, and it's looks like a 35 watt. So it's the same as the others. So we get to see how the AUTOONE bulb looks compared to that bulb. Alright, so for our new bulbs from AUTOONE, and so this is where the gloves come in. So what I want to do is get a glove on. Now you can't really work two-handed, so I'm just going to use one glove for one bulb and the other glove for the other bulb. That way I don't worry about it. So I'm just going to get one glove, and I'm going to put it on the hand that I'm going to handle the bulb with. So for me, for this side, it's going to be my left hand. We'll save the other glove for the other side. So now all we got to do is get a bulb out of here. And like I say, you can handle the back side of the bulb and not worry about it, but you can't touch the glass part. So we want to be really careful, and then we're gonna, as carefully as we can, put that bulb back in there without dragging it on much. And we just want to get it seated in its little pocket so it's sitting in there properly. And you'll feel it go in there when it goes in. And there we go. So it looks like it's seated in there pretty good. So now all we want to do is, once it's sitting in there, we just want to close our little door back up. Like that, to push on the bulb. And then we push over to this way to get it around the clip. And then we push back in and we lock the clip in. Like that right there. So now, we got the new bulb in. He's nice and seated. The only thing we got left to do is hook the connector back up. So it's right underneath the bottom. And I don't really need the glove for that, so I'll use my other hand. And we just put the clip back in. And there we go. So we got our bulb changed out. As simple as that. So like I say, the hard part is knowing the direction of this little metal wire clip right here. It has to push in. So you push in on the two little bars that are going up, and you push sideways, and it'll unlock and then pop down. So there we go. So we got one done. Simple as that. Now we just need to put our little cover back on. So we line our little cover up and give it a twist. Make sure it's on there. And then we just put this cover back. And there we go. So one side is done. Right there. And you can see I got my glove dirty. So that's why we need to have that second glove, because I'm not going to use this glove because it's got stuff on it. So we'll throw this glove away and we'll switch over to the second glove when we do the other bulb on the other side. So I'll do it real quick and then we'll be ready to go for a test drive and see how much brighter these lights are, or if there's any difference to them at all. Alright, so for our comparison right here, these are the AUTOONE Xenon D1S bulbs. And as we can see, it looks pretty bright. We'll have to see the side-by-side comparison to see how they do, but we'll go around the curves down here and see. And we'll also go down on that little slope part and just see how bright everything is. But it already looks pretty good. Looks like everything's lit up good. The color's good. Looks like everything's got a good, pretty well-defined cutoff on them. So everything looks like it matched up good to the car. So let's go around a couple of these curves and let's just see, and we'll compare these two. Well, alright, well there we go. Looks like a pretty good comparison, and like I say, not too bad to install once you figure out how that little clip that holds them on there works. Other than that, it's really easy to do. Don't mind changing them out if I have to every once in a while, but looks like these bulbs are good. Well, alrighty, well thanks for watching.